All right, welcome everybody. We have two fantastic guests today. Wendy White, who is a marketing veteran, recently from CenturyLink, where she ran all app demand gen and corporate marketing. And Matt Millen, who recently came from T-Mobile to join us as our SVP of revenue. He ran commercial sales with untold number of people under him. We are here to talk about the collaboration between sales and marketing and how do we make it better. So there's a lot of our viewers who are tool sellers themselves, and there are a lot of people who are selling account-based sales. How do they reach you? What do they tell you? How do they sell you an account-based solution? What gets you excited?
On the marketing side, there's probably any number of titles that want to hear about account-based marketing. Obviously, there's the people that are in charge of the sales enablement, whose job it is to make sure that the sellers are successful every day, right? There's the person who owns the website, who might own, conversion rate optimization on the site, or own, the inbound demand generation on the site. And then there's somebody that might own the media, right? And any one of those people can be the tip of the spear in terms of getting a conversation about account-based marketing going. All it takes is the right person really seeing that vision and saying, okay, how can this work across those? Or, could just be the CMO knowing they need to do something very different and having a little bit of back pressure from, a relationship with the CRO and, making a decision to really, transform that sales and marketing relationship.
What about you, Matt?
I would just say, first of all, to everybody that is out there that's responsible for bringing your technology to market, don't stop. Like just bring it. We need it. What I would also say is you'll be successful if it really works. And one of the really cool things I love about Outreach is Outreach had reached out to me when I was at a previous job and had broken through the noise and the clutter, and as I responded to one of their sequenced emails, and the story just goes great from there. But it's really your responsibility to make sure these tools get into the hands of the salespeople.
So let me double click on that.
Yeah.
So you recently bought Demandbase. Mm-hmm. How did they reach out to you? Like, what made you interested in buying Demandbase? What was the word or the promise that all of a sudden you'd be like, I need me some of that?
I wasn't the actual change agent in that scenario. One of my colleagues was, and somebody who was actually in charge of the website and was really thinking about the experience of who's hitting our website and how do we know, are they a customer, are they a prospect, and how do we think about that experience for them? And they catalyzed the conversation. And actually, once they brought Demandbase on the door, it was a really easy discussion for us because we knew we needed to do something different. And we were just in the process of thinking about becoming a lot more oriented around plays. Like what's our play around a product area or a persona, and really amping up our persona-based marketing. And something like account-based marketing with outreach is just like, it's the ideal way to bring that together, and the tools just naturally really work together when you think about that. So for us, it was an easy conversation.
What about you? What was in that email or that made you respond? What were the words?
It was less about that one email and more about the entire effort. And again, one of the great things that the outreach account executive had done was a very complete and thorough prospecting on me. So for instance, every second day, Rushier was looking or viewing my profile on LinkedIn. So I kept seeing him every 2 days, and his picture, and his name, and your company name. I was getting voicemails, I was getting the email, and one morning when I got to my desk at 6:30 and was setting up my day, and just happened to get the right email with the right language at the right time. I responded back, and within a week we were doing a demo on site. It was very complete, very targeted, and quite frankly, it was one of the best well-written emails I'd received in a while.
Oh, wow. So what's the equivalent in sales? There's sales operations, which usually where everything is overbooked and hard to do, et cetera. What's the equivalency in marketing? Is it marketing operations? There's a number of constituencies there.
You definitely have people who care about like that whole concept of the digital transformation, or care about the marketing stack and are thinking about it, and most of them are probably doing the same thing we were doing, putting together a best of breed solution because it made more sense for our business.
Yeah, and especially if it touches Salesforce, right? So when it touches Salesforce, it's sensitive to the business, as most companies are utilizing that at some level of platform level functionality, and if you're going to touch the Salesforce platform, it really makes sense to get buy-in from folks that are closer to the center of operations and work your way out.
It's critical because Salesforce becomes a gating factor.
That's right.
Can you get a tab turned on in Salesforce? Can you get an integration? Can you expose the data?
That's right.
Yeah.
It becomes a gating factor to a lot of tool decisions in marketing and in sales.
Something that I've heard from marketers and sellers is the proliferation of tools in both sales and marketing, and a little bit of tool fatigue. So what is happening in your shop, and how do you see that evolving, and how do you combat that so that you have a very neat stack that you can work from?
Yeah, I think this notion of tool fatigue is real. I mean, I think about organizations I've been at when we have a Salesforce layer, and then we had a layer over that allowed us to look at the funnel data in a better way, and we had a layer over that allowed us to help us determine which customers we're going to call, and a layer over that. And so it's, how much you're willing to spend per seat is number one. When is enough, too much.
Yeah.
And then when is that next potential layer really going to change the game? Because if you think about the layers I just mentioned, only one of them helped us do more.
We can create a lot of data, but turning that into an insight that we can pass to a seller that a seller can action on in a really timely way is, a very big challenge. Getting that data to flow and be consumed in a way that is actionable immediately. If your customer is giving you buying signals with what they're doing on your website, or maybe they're doing something on your website and they're doing something at the same time out in the real world in content syndication, and you're not pulling that insights together, you may miss the fact that you've got a big selling opportunity. So the insights piece and being able to get actionable, fast data is a real challenge.
Got it. Well, there you have it, folks. Just get in, get dirty, and get it done. And with that, talk show about outreach.